Hi guys, welcome back again. In this video we are going to be having a look at my Endless Mods UK Cleaner mod set. Now this is a stacked mech mod. You can run it single 18650 battery or you can run it dual. It comes with like an extender sleeve on it and a spacer for the batteries. Now as I've said before, a mech mod you can't really review it on its performance as much as you can a regulated mod. As a regulated mod obviously has the circuitry, it's adjustable, it has different settings. You can't do any of that on a mech mod. On a mech mod it's pure power. It's a metal tube with a button on the bottom, you push the button, bang, it goes. So basically what we're going to be having a look at, we're going to be having a look at its design and its build quality, and have a look at the dripper as well. That's probably the only bit you can sort of bring into performance wise is the dripper. Other than that, it's mechanical. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's been taken apart. I'll show you all the parts separately. But let's have a look at the packaging. So it comes in this groovy little box. Inside the box you have the cutouts. So you had the main sleeve, the extender sleeve, and the dripper was in that bit. It also came with a screwdriver for the grub screws. I believe it came with spare grub screws. I might be wrong. I think it came with grub screws. And it comes with a spare set of O-rings. So let's get down to it. Let's have a look at the main tube. So here we are. Mine is copper. You've got the Endless Mods logo there, the name of the mod, which is the cleaner, and you also have the serial number. So build quality, what do we think? Well, I mean, you can see for yourselves that it's very, very thick copper. I mean, it's not cheaply made, it's not fine, horrible stuff like the plumbing in your house. It's really thick, it's got quite a bit of weight to it. So if you drop it, you're not going to damage it as much. I mean, you might scratch it, but you're not likely to dent it or anything like that. I mean, it's quite a sort of subtle design, this one. It is just literally just a plain smooth tube, bar the engravings. The thread on it, very clean cut thread. I mean, you're not going to have to worry about getting your threads crossed or rounding that thread off anytime soon. It is very well cut. So we've got the main tube, the extender tube, which is shinier because I have been running it single battery, not dual, which is a bit shorter because obviously the main tube has to accommodate the threads, the button, whereas all that has to accommodate is an extra battery. So we're going to put that bit on there because I have just put a new build in the dripper for stacked. There we go. It'll be there, and that also says stack with an apostrophe and then EM for Endless Mods, and a serial number. If bought as a set, the serial numbers should match. So yeah, there's the tube fully extended. We've got the button, screws in the bottom obviously. We've got the spacer. It's going between your batteries when you run it stacked. When you run it single, you don't need that. You've got your 510 screws in the top, and then obviously your dripper or your tank, whatever you're using, screws onto that. Now a lot of people, you might have heard I just said tank. A lot of people say, oh no, you can't use a tank on a mech mod. Yes you can. I'd advise a rebuildable, obviously, so you've got control over the coils you're putting in it and the resistance, but yes, you can use a tank on a mech mod. We've got the top cap for the dripper, comes into 3 parts. You've got the main bit there, you've got the top, and also the drip tip does come out, but it's fiddly and tough to get out, so I'm not going to take it out now. And like the rest of it, that is very well built, good quality. Amazing. It says Slam 'em on it. You can't really see because there's a light reflecting, but it is engraved there. Slam apostrophe EM and 25 because it is 25mm. We've got the deck. There we go. This is a 2-post deck. It does come with an alternative, but when I got the mod, I actually asked advice as to what one's the best one to build on. So I went with the advice, and I can honestly say I'm very happy with the advice. I'm unsure as to what the other deck is. Yeah, so in there, the coils that I've put in there that I still need to wick, that's 24 gauge stainless steel, wrapped 13 times around a 3.5mm bit. And then, last but not least, we have this little guy. Now this is actually a safety mechanism for the Mech mod. A lot of Mech mods don't have safety mechanisms. This has one. And what this does is you screw this onto the bottom of your button, so it sits flush with the casing. So with that screwed on, you can't accidentally fire your mod. So it's actually safe to stick it in your pocket if you have that on it. Although I still wouldn't advise it. And also you can, if you don't like an internal or a flush button, you can also sort of half unscrew it and have it as an external button. Makes it a little bit easier if you have a bit of trouble sort of bending your finger all the way around to push up the button. Just have to sort of get to the bottom and push that bit there like that. One thing I will say is if you are using it like that, do not put it down on a table because you will push the button. So there's all the parts. Now battery wise, I'll give you a bit of advice. I would advise either Sony VTC5As or Samsung 25Rs for your Mech mods, purely because of the output capacity. They're sort of slightly higher than some of the other batteries with output capacity, so they're safer to use. You're less likely to sort of overuse your batteries, as it were. So yeah, going back again, build quality, it's amazing. I mean, it feels bulletproof. And again, these are made in the UK. Endless Mods is a UK company. They sell them in Shade E Vaping, which is a vaping shop up in Birmingham, where I got this one from. They're lovely guys there. I mean, Paul Harrison, he's a top bloke. Yeah, he's wicked, really helpful. So let's put it together, shall we? Now there isn't really a specific order. I mean, if you ask around, there'll be an order that people would suggest, or an order other people do it in to put their Mech mods together. And when you're stacking it, it does run in series, not parallel. So that means it stacks the voltage output capacity of the batteries, not the milliamp capacity. So it will be kicking out more power. So with Ohm's law brought into it, you will want a higher resistance coil in there than what you would have if you were running single battery. Single battery, you want to go sort of 0.1 to 0.15. If you're running dual, the lowest you really want to go is 0.3, and even that's pushing it. The build that I've put in here is actually a 0.45. That was a little bit higher than what I was aiming for, but for the sake of the video, I thought I'd carry on with it anyway. So, put the top in, screw the deck on. Like I said, the threads on these are amazingly cut threads. It's a good thread. You're not going to cross thread your battery at any point. Not your battery, sorry, ignore that. You're not going to cross thread any of the separate parts. I don't know why I said battery then, probably because I picked it up as I said it. Now when you're putting the batteries in this Mech mod, you want both batteries positive up. You screw your button on like so. It should all sit nice and flush. Let's put the top cap on there just for looks. And look at that, there you go. The Endless Mods cleaner in stacked. Quite big. It is quite big. I mean, look at that compared to my hand. It's longer than the length of my hand. So let's have a look at those coils, shall we? Wait, look at that instant glow. I mean, the ramp up on Mech mods is immense. It really is. It's beautiful. So before we wick it, we're going to have a closer look at the button that I keep dropping. I'm going to break my button if I'm not careful. So we've got the button, very, very well built. I want to take it apart now and show you. So we've got a dowel ring here. That's adjustable. You can screw it in or screw it out. That, I believe, is just to make sure you don't have battery wobble. So it all sits nice and tight and smooth together and you don't have too much wobble. So if you want to take your button apart to clean it, you take your dowel ring off, and then after that it's out. You've got in there's a little, it looks brass. Don't quote me on that, it might not be. It looks brass, another little ring in there, which I use my tweezers to get out. You could probably fit a pair of long nose pliers in there. But yeah, I like to use my tweezers. I get it all the way off and then I do the rest with my fingers. But there we go, that tiny little ring there is what holds, basically what holds the button together. So if you take the button out, it'll come into two parts, and then what you'll find inside is it's not spring operated, this button. It is two magnets repelling against each other. Now, very powerful magnets. I mean, when they get stuck together like that, they are quite a pain to pull apart again. But I will say one thing, if you do decide to take your button apart, when putting it back together, please make sure that you've got the batteries in the right way round and that they're going to repel each other and not attract each other. Otherwise, all that's going to do is it's going to pull your button permanently on and you'll overload your batteries, and then that's when you will have a problem, which you don't want. Yep, they're repelling each other that way round, so I want to put it on the battery, on the button like that. Slide it back in like so, keeping the magnets in there. Then you screw it back on. Quite fiddly to do, as that ring, as you saw, is very small. I use my fingers, I get it on, and then I finish it off with the tweezers, or if you're using them, long nose pliers. Then you want to keep tightening it until your button is sitting flush. Unless, of course, you want your button sticking out a bit, then don't do it up as much. Leave it undone a little bit, and yeah, your button will sort of protrude out the bottom. So there we go, I've got that spot on there, nearly. Untwist it a little bit. Yeah, spot on, that's it, nice and flush there. So that's the button. Put the dowel ring back in there. Back in there like so. Screw it back on the button. Nice and tight, there we go, it's sitting nice and flush. So now I'm probably going to speed the video up a little bit, fast forward it, as I am going to re-wick my coils. Bear with me. So, there we go. All wicked up, just juicing it up now. And I'll probably do a wicking tutorial at some point, but if you're wondering what I did there, obviously I put the wick through the coils, trimmed it up a little bit first, and then what I did with my tweezers is I sort of raked it out. Used them as a rake to rake it out, get like any sort of knots out, get all the cotton going in the right direction. So if it's all running straight, it absorbs a lot better. Sort of makes it so the cotton soaks up the length. So so the cotton soaks the juice up the length, all in one direction. So you do get less dry hits if you rake your cotton out when you're wicking, then tucked it into the deck. But yeah, like I say, I'll probably do a wicking tutorial at some point. So there we go, let's have a look, shall we? Whoa. Yeah, that's good. That is amazing. So now that's all wicked up and juiced up, let's have a quick look at the dripper. So we'll whack the cap on, have a little look. As I've already told you, it is in 3 parts. You've got your main bit, you can take the top off, and you've got your drip tip that comes out. Now the air holes, you've got a big old air hole there, a big air hole there. I like my air hole all the way open. I like good airflow. But yeah, to restrict it, basically, the top bit there, turn it around, and that'll go all the way around, and yeah, so you can have it really restricted. You can open it all the way, however you want it. So there we go, there is the stacked endless cleaner. It's amazing. I'm in love with this. Ever since I've had it, I've fell in love. So yeah, quick recap. Very, very good build quality. It's absolutely amazing. Another thing I missed out earlier, value. It's amazing. I mean, a lot of authentic mech mods out there, I've seen them £200, £300. Now you can't get them at a lower budget unless you start looking at clones. And obviously with clones, you can't really rely on the build quality because they're mass produced, they're produced cheaply, quickly. That's how they manage to sell them at such a low price. So for an authentic mech mod, that's also a stackable mech mod, £120. And that's everything, literally. It comes as a whole kit, like I showed you with the box earlier. The deck, the sleeve, the main sleeve. So yeah, 120 quid, and that's from Shady Vaping in Birmingham. Now the guy that runs that, Paul Harrison, like I said earlier, top bloke. He's on Facebook, he's on a couple of the pages, and his customer service is amazing. I mean, with me, I had no problems. I put the order in, it turned up in the post, I think a day or two later, sent it out straight away, asked him for a bit of advice on a few things on Facebook. He responds to his messages pretty quickly, unlike a lot of vendors that leave you waiting for a couple of days. And I've seen other people come forward to him on Facebook, and he responds to them. He responds politely, he responds promptly. His service is amazing. I mean, I can't fault him at all. So yeah, that's it really. You've got Shady Vaping, Birmingham, endless mods, cleaner, stacked, amazing build quality. I can't find a thing wrong with it. I mean, I love it. It is amazing. It chucks the clouds. So, I mean, if you're a bit of a cloud chaser, you want one of these. It really chucks it. But yeah, so a little bit of advice on mech mods. If you like the look of a mech mod, you want to get a mech mod, please make sure you do your research first. You want to look into battery safety. You want to treat your batteries with respect. I know it might sound a little bit weird, but you do. They are dangerous if they're mistreated. You want to keep them wrapped. You don't want to drop them, throw them around. You want to keep them protected, and you also want to look into Ohm's law of resistance. When you're building your own coils, obviously they have different depending how much metal, what metal, how wide the wraps are, will vary your resistance. And if you have too low a resistance, it'll pull too much power from the batteries, and then that's when your battery's going to thermal runaway and you have an explosion on your hands. So if you want to look into getting a mech mod, look up on your battery safety, look up on your Ohm's law, and get to know what you're doing first before making the jump, because they're not dangerous. They're not dangerous at all if you know what you're doing. It's only when people abuse them, get cocky, think they know what they're doing when they haven't even looked into it, that's when problems happen. And as a vapor, I don't want that happening. So, yeah, end of it. Amazing build quality, wicked value, decent customer service from where you can get it, and that's it. It's an amazing bit of kit. Can't fault it at all. I mean, it's quite a plain design, but I like that personally. I don't want one of these fancy ones that feels horrible in your hand. It's nice and smooth. It feels good in the hand. So that's my opinion. Sorry, I froze there for a bit. That's my opinion on the mod, and I hope you like the review. And please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and see you again soon.